Hello, welcome back into the North American Challengers League broadcast here on twitch.tv/Path to LCS. We had a banger game one in our second series of Cincinnati Fear over Wildcard. And I gotta say, that was a close one. Even though it looked like it was going to be Fears for a while, I felt like Wildcard were on the brink of bringing that game back at any moment.
Man, it started giving me deja vus to the FlyQuest game where like they were down like 10,000 gold and somehow Wildcard were still finding ways to get it back in. But this time it feels like Fear had that answer where they drafted their own late game, right? And they had those answers where they were very aggressive with their pick compositions that paid dividends.
I will say too, the thing I liked about their draft is that one, I mean, the Seraphine, not as broken as she used to be, still incredibly strong pick, really good in team fights, and Fear, something they have that we've been touching on when it comes to things like their identity and how some of our provisional teams have already worked that out, especially this late in the split, is the fact that Fear, you said it, Mazel, they want to be decisive. If it's a bad play, it doesn't matter as long as they commit. And that decisiveness, I think, was a big part of what allowed them to get over the top in those fights that were so back and forth, because that understanding of what they need to do and that ability to just pull the trigger.
And it got them the first game. We're getting ready for our second one in our best of two. But between then and now, we're going to play a little game that I like to call This or Stat. Another very original game brought to you.
Why does he keep doing
Yeah, I thought you were going to come with like something horse related since we're at the Derby. Like, I thought we were going to get some...
Look,
some horses.
I was sick this week. I did not put much thought into these. I was in
just
bed.
input horse wherever needed.
I was in bed for pretty much most of the week outside of the real back doors. After that, I just went in bed and slept.
That was all the energy. No more space for horses.
And so I'm like, yeah, no, we're just going the tried and true, and that is going to be game show. So for this one, it is going to go a lane to lane where I ask you this or that, which you have to choose which laner, which team, from either Cincinnati Fear or Wildcard you think is the answer to this question. Pretty easy. Okay. Last game we had beatdown win pretty handedly, Lennon. Do you think you can?
Don't worry about it. It was false narrative. False narrative.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you feel like that's
he
the case,
says with confidence.
Yeah. Then let's get into question number one, shall we? All right. So, which player has a higher kill participation percent before today's games?
God.
Keel or Perry?
Keel.
Wait,
my buzzer.
hold on. Should I not guess also before?
You can guess. No, you can guess.
You can guess your wrong guess.
You can guess the same.
Wait, who did you say,
guess
Lennon?
the same? I said you can. I guessed
who did you
Keel.
pick?
Keel.
Okay, well I'm gonna say Perry.
The answer.
Wow. Sake of argument's sake.
Is Keel. You're right, Lennon, getting the first point.
I am the champion.
Look how close it was, though. That's how close it was.
Bow, bow,
By
bow.
0.8% more. That's it. That's how
incredible.
much more Keel
So we
had
could go home
going
now.
into today. Yeah. No, that's not how this goes. We have more questions ahead of us. So
All right,
hopefully
all
you can
right.
continue to answer these ones correct, Lennon, and we'll find out. Let's get into question number two. Which player has played the most unique champs so far this split? Lens or Manui?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Manui. Yeah.
Manui. Both of you going with Manui.
Yeah.
Oh, this was meant to be an
Len's
easy
played a lot of
question.
Callisto.
So I will say you are both right. It is Manui.
Yeah.
It is 12 unique champions to Manui, while it's only 8 for Lens, actually.
Yeah.
So you both were very close on that one. Yeah, well done. Well done to both of you. Give yourself a round of applause. Point to each of you, but that still puts Lennon
Wait.
in the lead.
Do we try a fist bump?
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be this hand.
There you go. Okay.
That's wrong side.
Right.
It's okay.
Damn.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
So now, let's get into question number 3. Which player has gotten a solo kill this split? Duo King or Trevor?
I'm gonna say Duo King.
Duo King. Okay.
That cow go hard.
I want to win, so I need to guess things
wanna
different
win.
from Mazel. So I'm gonna say Trevor.
You're going to guess Trevor. Now,
Because you took that L in the first half
I'll give-
beatdown. That's all I'm saying.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
legit.
a bonus question on the line as well. If you can name which champion.
It was Alistar.
I'll start.
I'm gonna say Trevor did it on Ash.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, the answer is Duo King. So, Lennon gets the first point. And I will now let you try again, knowing that it's no longer Trevor, on which champion.
Oh, wait. Come on.
You don't get another one. You're already in the lead. So
Didn't give this to me.
So the champion that he got the solo kill on, right?
Come on, TikTok.
I'm gonna say it was Zyra.
Zyra.
Am I
I do like the idea because in this game playing Zyra also he has a very unique champion wheelhouse that he's gone for so far, but it was actually on Senna. And it was last
lame.
week. It was only last week against FlyQuest Challengers as well, so it was that recent that this had happened. So unfortunately, you're still behind. It is 3-1 for Mazel in this game.
Refer to previous statement when I said I'm the champion after round 1.
All right. Well, I suppose you are right now. No, because that would just make the games
Don't put
tied.
the caveat of right now.
It would be tied at the moment because it'd be 1-1. All right, let's get to question 4. So, especially with looking at how this last game was, it felt like mid laners were really important. Wouldn't you both agree?
Yes.
I would say so.
So, which player has a higher gold diff at 15 between Saligo or Shochi?
You're talking about before this weekend?
Yes, before this week.
Shochi.
It's got to be Shochi.
Yeah.
Shochi. Why would you say that?
Because he picks more for lane matchups, playing stuff like Tryndamere. So I imagine he'd have a higher gold diff compared to Saligo.
So I will say, you are both correct. This is right. However, Saligo has higher in CS diff and XP at 15.
Not important. Wasn't the question.
I know.
That wasn't the question.
It wasn't. You're right. But I do want to give that as caveat.
That is pretty cool.
Participation prizes here.
All right. Well, like I did
Speaking
the
of
last time
participation
for you,
prize.
Lennon, I'm gonna give Beatdown the all or nothing on this final question, whether or not he can come back into this
Giving
one.
him so many options.
Hey, you had this one too. And so
I
did
didn't have the
Bear.
ones before that.
Shut up. It's my games. I make up the rules.
That's right. Now let's go ahead. What are you?
I'll get my speech ready. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
So while both teams have a player renowned for one champion, which player has had their signature champion banned in more games?
Moose Hater.
Moose Hater or
Moose
Faisal?
Hater. It's Moose Hater. It's Moose Hater.
Where's Lennon? What happened to Lennon? Did we lose him?
I'm here. Wait, am I guessing as well? I was
you
getting
gotta
my
guess.
speech ready.
You gotta guess as well. Moose Hater or Faisal?
It's got to be Faisal. It's got to be Faisal.
The answer for all the marbles is Faisal.
Yeah.
Lennon wins. So
Again,
because
I'm the champion. No questions.
keep
No
this
question.
in mind. More
There's
Garen
another
has
half
been
game show
seen
later.
by Moose Hater, while Zach has also absorbed some of those bans as well. Olaf being really the only one to get a lot of the attention for Faisal. So, Mazel, you get the victory speech this time. The platform is yours. What would you like to say to all your lovers and haters out there?
It's been a long time coming, all right? And there's a lot of people I want to thank, but specifically, I'm just going to leave it on one note. GG easy.
I feel like that's like four notes.
That's one note.
Easy.
Those are
Well,
syllables.
it's-
So yeah.
Yeah.
I see what he's going
Yeah.
for.
There you go. It's all
right.
one. Doesn't matter.
Either way, congratulations. You won the game. We're now tied at 1 apiece. We
I
still
was
have
the
one
champion.
more halftime show ahead of us, so keep that in mind that I have one more thing planned for both of you. But you know what?
Don't worry about
I
it.
do want to bring back the conversation into what had happened previously because this is, I still think, going to be a very close series. I don't think that the result of that first game means that suddenly Wildcard are out of this by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like we wouldn't be too out of the realm of possibility to see the exact same 40-minute slugfest between these two as we get ready for Champion Select for our game number 2.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, same here, but I will see you guys on the other side on this one. I'm here for now, but I'm going to let you guys take this one so that
All
way
right,
we can
sounds
enjoy it
good.
all. See you guys later.
We're getting into game number 2 of this heated provisional top team matchup. We got Wildcard on the blue side again, Fear on that red side. So no swapping of sides, but similar bans coming across the table here. Fear definitely going for those respect bans that we know need to be there against Wildcard, but I love the adaptation from Wildcard saying we need to throw Fear some respect of our own.
And it's very interesting because Wildcard are a team that usually prefer going on red side and get those counter picks to set up the late game scaling comps we see from them often, but this time they opted for blue side. And I'm thinking it's because they want to first pick the Ashe. Usually we see Duo King play some more unique type of champions, the Zyra, the Senna, and things like that, but keeping that side and getting such a power pick is what I think they're going for, or there's got to be some other power pick that they think is just worth grabbing for themselves, and maybe it's the tree.
It's okay. I won't vent my frustrations, Beatdown.
Let me hear. No, it's okay. It's just you and me. Don't worry about the audience.
I gotta talk, man. I wanted blood. I wanted crazy stuff in the jungle. And we're just gonna get the handshake and the Maokai Sejuani.
It's the meta, man. Even Shaden's playing it. Like, what can we do?
Man, come on. This is not what I signed up for. Anyways, they were very good at setting up the real. I'm memeing. They are incredibly good at setting up their teams on these champs. Obviously, you get the takeaway of the Ashe with that vision game. The duo of her with the Maokai is obviously so incredible. We saw Fear able to do a lot with a little bit of vision. We do get right now just a bit of a salty run back.
A little bit, although this time around they're going to pick the Varus right away. It was taken away from them before during the second rotation bans. And also the Seraphine's out of the picture now. Again, Fear, the only team in NACL who have drawn Seraphine bans, and now they need to go to other options. They still have Ashe locked in. The Jhin is something to go for. We saw TLC run it in the previous series earlier on in the day. Utility focused bot lane, and that means we're going to see power elsewhere. And Tryndamere still up and available.
It is.
I mean,
though I will say Fear are definitely taking away some of those power pieces from the last game. The Jace, obviously, but as well as that Fiora for Moose Hater started really being a wrecking ball in the side lanes, honestly. So I want to see this kind of focus in second phase for Wildcard. They'll go ahead and take the Jax off. And I expect more of that top lane focus, at least against Faisal.
That one for sure. The question is going to be whether or not they also want to get rid of something like the Tryndamere. Because you will have a lot of range, a good amount of poke with Jhin Ashe bottom side. And the Sejuani with the Ashe arrow means you have a lot of all-in. So you still have a lot of room to go for some kind of power pick here. Shochi, a lot of his usual options are out of the picture, but there are still a lot of things that he could be going for.
There's the Yone taken off as the last ban by Fear. We'll see if that focus does come through, and Shochi's Tryndamere will be no more.
So you just got to go different options. Silas is a pretty good one. It's really strong overall. You get to steal that Maokai ult, which is one of the best ones he can grab for himself.
True.
And Shochi's already shown us, both in game one and in the past, that he's a playmaker. So you give him something like Silas, big playmaking champion. I think he's proven time and time again that he can deliver.
I just also wonder what that AP ratio on that gigantic circle of Strangled Thorns is going to be like. If
Don't ask questions you're not ready for the answers.
I'm ready for the answer. I'm coming to class ready to go. I got a notepad and everything, even though I don't play mid lane. Now, we do see the Scion locked in for Moose Hater, and this has been such a prevalent pick across the meta now, but I think it's something so stable for Wildcard to opt into that late game and be able to take those team fights a little bit better than, say, with that Fiora.
Crusader wasn't able to get a lot done in terms of split pushing realistically because of the map control Fear had. And that was off the back of a lot of team fighting. So it means that Saya, what?
So there's a possibility that this is Saligo Zyra. Or I guess we'll see in the end, but it is the Camille. I think we'll come back to the wild card side. I love the Camille here for Fear, though, in the fact that they do have that side lane pressure for Faisal. It is also a pick that he is absolutely destroyed on.
Yeah, and it's good for a couple reasons. Like, it's good into both of those picks, especially good into Scion because of the tank busting. And Fiora, or rather Camille, is kind of like Fiora in that sense that you can split because you're a very good duelist, but your team fighting is also incredible. That Hextech ultimatum. The fact that Fear made such a statement about punishing immobile members of Wildcard's composition, something like Camille helps you do that as well. And overall, even without Seraphine, Lens, Duo King, I'm watching you guys because you're going to be under a lot of threat.
I am looking at Saligo, though. He picked the chaddest of Chad picks here. It is the set. He has 2 games competitively. Obviously, maybe some scrims, things like that. But competitively has 2 games, 100% win rate. So Chad Saligo is now on the Rift enabled against this melee matchup into the Silas. I love that the adaptation does not stop between these 2 teams. And we're getting the bloody wonder fight that we wanted between our 2 top provisional teams.
This matchup is absolutely delivered so far, Lennon, and we're going to see that hopefully continue as the teams are adapting. Like you said, we've seen differences. Oh, bye, Moose here. I'll miss you.
Moose, no, Moose, run away. They're all coming to get you. Who's going to get the kill? Who are they going to give it to? Oh, it's Faisal. Well, That's a good way to start for Fear. And a little bit of cheese pays off on the Philly cheesesteak here for Fear.
That's a really nice read. And this isn't the first time Cincinnati Fear have been able to do that. It's kinds of things that are, honestly, it's coaching. We talk about resources and how Fear and Wildcard, they don't have as much as Challengers teams do, but they definitely have a coaching staff. And getting to talk to some of these players, interviews and such, you learn a little bit about how impactful they have been. And plays like that, where you catch people out early on, that's Coach Diff right there.
It's just always so cool to see, and those kind of shout out moments for all the players. It's always, shout out a couple extra members from the team set up as well. As we will see the lanes kick off, it should be same side starts for both junglers. A little bit of aggressive vision done by Fear in that early play. And we should see Trevor Manui take to their aggression here with this fourth shot. Lands and be a little bit low.
Wow, and that's already really aggressive. This bottom lane, even though... Oh, wait, hold on. We're just continuously trading here. This bot lane, I mean, when you think about Jhin, think about Ashe support, you don't think about the damage necessarily, but the poke and the lane pressure is what it's all about here. And that exact thing is what allowed Fear to Dragon Stack in the last game. And Wildcard looking to contest that with their double range setup as well. And it's going to be about who's getting that early bot push, who's getting the pressure to set up your jungle for objectives.
And honestly, I obviously the kind of like theme coming into this weekend was the horse derby, the race to the finish, right? But the two prize ponies, at least that I'm looking at right now, are Keel and Perry. And with such differing stories in their own right, we'll see their aggressive tendencies be full at hand here as Perry's going for this level 3 gank on bottom side. A cleanse has already come out for Duo King, and this is more catastrophe coming Wildcard's way. And their raid shutters have been opened. The storm has arrived. And Wildcard, they don't have much to say about it. Perry chasing down Duo King will get a 3rd kill for Fear.
Early game, once again, going in favor of Cincinnati Fear. That's 3 kills they picked up. And Perry's looking to make it 4. But he's going to decide. He's going to walk away from this one as Keel is... looking to see if maybe he can go for an invade himself.
He's got a little bit of a push from Saligo in mid lane. It should be a quick roam, first presence from Saligo himself as well. Looks like this will be the opportunity for Keel and Wildcard to get something back on the map by taking the blue buff of Perry.
I'm going to be real, Lennon. It's a very, very small something coming through.
We were giving out participation prizes earlier, all right?
That's true. That's true. And you know, that's something. But ultimately, Fear, early game, going very well so far. And we talk about this team and how they always manage to try and leverage the early game here. And it's from a really smart move from Perry. The usual vision that you see from a bot lane on blue side, he avoids it perfectly by using that Arctic Assault to go over the Dragon Wall. And that just sets it, the rest of it is just easy.
Yeah, once that cleanse comes out, they just kind of circle around the other side. Nice little moves come out as well. Not enough damage, at least, from Wildcard's side. And then Perry just chasing down Duo King in the end.
Right, and it's worth noting too, like Duo King flashes, still dies. So now, again, punishing those immobile champions, like we saw Fear do last game, is still on the menu, it seems. And I guess a gank's on the menu as well.
Crusader should walk right into it. Faisal not going to go in. This is just Perry playing a little bit aggressive. Actually does a good amount of trading back. Does get knocked back up though. Level 5 for Moosehater definitely ringing true there. But love to see the proactivity from Perry here, that aggressivity that he wanted and that he talked about so heavily. And Keel has found that one paltry prize, but hasn't found that same response.
Right, Perry, talking about that he wants to be that kind of carry for his team. And honestly, as long as I've watched him, has always been a player who is really good at early game plans. It's just continuing to show us that. It's this game, last game, whatever game we've seen from him. Yeah.
Isn't that just so fitting between these two junglers, though, right? Like, where Perry coming off of that fill-in and especially doing so well for Decisive. Keel making one of the greatest runs in semi-pro history, at least at the Proving Grounds with AOGT. Now we're seeing Perry back at it again. He has literally visited every single lane, and they predict the Saligo exit. See if they can get him, though. That's a nice haymaker back. Trevor and Manui had roamed up as well, but they can't stick the damage.
Right, and that, again, the proactivity has just been so good from the Cincinnati Fear, and it's netting them these small advantages. It's a small gold lead now. As they keep it up, it's going to get that much more difficult for Wildcard. They can't keep depending on making those big comebacks in the late game, because a team like Fear is not letting you breathe, is giving you very few openings. So it means that we need more proactivity, not just minimizing your losses, trying to get leads for your laners.
And while Wildcard do have a pretty good setup for a big team fight, we'll not look at that right now as the unstoppable one. Oh, Saligo. He gets outplayed, and that's a solo bolo for Shochi.
Wow. Really nicely done there, and really interesting interaction. However, this doesn't mean that Wildcard will be able to get the first dragon once again. But stacking is going to be the question here, Lennon. Will they be able to continue doing so? And that depends on me and Trevor. So far, Zyrofaris looking like a great amount of poke, and this can be how Wildcard continue to play for what they love to play for. Scaling, dragon stacking, and things like that.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to bring up next, is that Wildcard are and find themselves in these kinds of positions a lot of the time, right? And we've seen them pull back miraculous games. Maybe that's not the way you want to live by the seat of your pants, but it's the way Wildcard have approached a lot of their games. They know that they have late game. They know that they have a lot of team fight potential when they get to that state. But Fear are the ones that are saying in this game, too, they don't even want to give that an opportunity. They have literally a kill across the board for everyone except for Trevor.
That is pretty insane. This early game has been great for Fear. They need to keep this one going. And now, it's worth noting, too, that the spot lane is in a bit of a tough position. Lane is pushing away from Minui and Trevor, and their jungler is nowhere in sight. Especially with level 6s coming online for Lens. You might lose out on a good bit of gold and XP here. And you can even see Lens has gotten a really good CS lead.
It's been a pretty good start. The triple longswords definitely helped with a little bit of that damage output as well. Now, the other question is, Rift Herald now on the board. We did see heavy movement from Fear last time around as we get a nice little directed cam of that mid lane play.
This one's really funny because Shochi steals the showstopper, and you're unstoppable while
like the
doing
last
it.
second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was used too soon by Saligo, so the damage didn't actually end up going through.
Man, what a play. And Saligo's definitely going to want that one back. We'll see Perry revisit this mid lane, though, as he has been. And with this Rift Herald on top side of the map, there's a little bit of lockdown on bottom side. Curtain call coming out now, though. Trying to push Wildcard off of them, though. The Chains of Corruption onto Trevor is big. They can't follow up the damage, though, as Keel, hovering mid lane now, wants to get onto Shochi. Can't get the stick from Saligo.
We wanted to see power in the solo laners with this bottom lane matchup for Cincinnati Fear, and we're seeing it, not just from Shochi and Faisal overall, but the attention from Perry.
Oh, they're going in now. Saligo is in a little bit of trouble himself now with that Nature's Grasp back, and Perry able to set up a lot of this dual potential, at least for Fear. He's literally about to get another CC chain on Saligo.
Wow, this is a scrappy one. Even though it's been a few minutes since those 4 kills came through, these guys are trying things back and forth, especially Fear, keeping the pressure on, keeping the pace up, because this is how they find their advantages here. And Wildcard, keeping things a little slower than before, is super important, Lennon, because this is Wildcard's way of playing the game. You slow things down, and you wait till late game.
That Sochi guy, he's pretty good, huh?
Yo, he's kind of the GOAT. I'm not going to lie.
Cincinnati Fear.
I saw that. Yeah, that was from that was after the last game when Shochi went like 10+0 or 10-1 on the Tryndamere. Kind of disgusting. But if you want your tweets and obviously great takes about our players on the broadcast, use the hashtag NACL on Twitter. And yeah, please.
All right. Now, Trevor is hovering. He just got his Enchanted Crystal Arrow back. We're looking on to Saligo to maybe dampen some of the CS differential that's starting to develop. A Duo King on the way. Keel on the way. Perry coming from the top side. It's a 3v3 of Bruin in mid lane. And Trevor waiting there. The engage comes in from Shochi. He does have a little bit of that showstopper left in him, but is he going to be able to use it efficiently? Get the nice knock up. Shochi needs to heal up. Stranglethorns gets the double knock up, though, and Wildcard. They should be able to push onto Perry here. The beautiful sinking as the flash goes through, but it's the showstopper that's down and it's out. Well, we'll see one more shot. Barely doesn't get it on Saligo, but that's 2 kills going to Wildcard, and they're sitting pretty.
a much needed answer back, and just in time for the Dragon. Wildcard, again, what they love to do. Stack dragons, keep things slow, and now we see them answering Fear's early game plays. And instead of Dragon, they want to go for the Rift Herald. Deny it from Fear. So we saw the damage they did with it in the last game. But will they actually be able to deny it? Shochi, Minui, they're here.
Right back to the carousel of pain here, beat down as Rift Herald does end up going over to Wildcard. Fear not really able to put themselves in a position. They were still lacking a lot of their engaged tools, especially Trevor's Enchanted Crystal Arrow. But now swapping to the other side of the map. We said how important it is for Wildcard to start stacking up. And after this replay, we'll see how that works out.
We're already seeing the play coming through here. The biggest thing is, even though Duo King wasn't here at the beginning, the damage is huge from Soligo and Keel. And realistically, there isn't much that Shochi's going to be able to do. You're not that high a level yet. You don't have a lot of cooldown, or rather ability haste. And that means all your abilities are on very long cooldowns. And as soon as the tank is empty, then the rest of Wildcard are just able to come through, auto attack, use very basic spells to be able to take down the rest of Fear.
And the fact that Lens comes in, gets a kill as well, you're really going to be liking this poke that Lens can do once he gets the first item, second item as well. It'll be a Dragon going over to Wildcard, so right in the stacking direction for them. It'll be 2 in a row. It will be Roa completed for Shochi in the mid lane, so he's starting to stack himself.
I will say that is an early Roa, and that is very important. What is also important is we have an Ocean Soul, Lennon, that Wildcard are halfway towards the 12 minutes in the game. And oh ho.
They're trying to find a parry a little bit off, but that's the CC chain perfectly timed, but they don't have the damage down. Cleanse comes through, fourth shot. It's not enough. He dodges out of the deadly flourish, and Wildcard gets some damage back on a Fear.
Really nicely done there from the bot lane of Wildcard, and as long as no one...
All right. Almost just outright on Duo King, doing what every good bro does, helping Lens survive there at least. It will be the stopped backs though because of the push coming out from Minui.
Right, you do want to be able to grab...
That's the fourth shot available. He wants to go for it. He's got the flash too. We've all been in those positions, ready to go.
Lennon, I have a serious question for you.
Yes.
Do you
serious
flash auto
answer,
him?
maybe. Oh, absolutely, but I suck. So that's the key difference here.
I just wanted to know.
I want the blood beat down. Moose Hater though, maybe getting his own beat down up here. In some trouble under that tower. Nice combo from Faisal. Now we're looking at Keel in the mid lane, who has to panic, pop the Nature's Grasp. Now Soligo will use that showstopper to get some distance, maybe even the Haymaker to try to get a kill back. It's so close, but nobody going down.
Oh, wait a minute.
Got the ulti in top side.
Well, ultimately, nothing ends up coming through here. And for Fear, that's not a good thing, Lennon. We keep talking about how they need to keep the pace going in this game, and Wildcard are slowly starting to pick up the rhythm of what Fear want to do. And that means that now they're even in gold. Everything is honestly, despite those early 4 kills going through here, not in a bad position. And as time goes on, this game gets harder for Fear to play, especially if they're not able to slow down the dragon stacking that we have seen.
Oh, nice flash from Moose Hater. The hands are ready to go, but I do want to point out that we have the Eclipse completed there for Minui on the bot side. Love to see this lethality Jhin try to be an answer to Lens's lethality Varus, who has his Yumu's created now. We see pressure in the mid lane though, put on by Wildcard, trying to take down this tower.
I have another question, Lennon.
Yes.
Talk to me about Jhin with Tyr.
I mean, it used to be really good. I mean, you do so much damage. I miss the days of like the lethality Jhin. I was the big like Halo Blades Jhin guy. I loved that day when before it was reverted to not make it broken on him. But I actually really appreciate that kind of obviously mana sustain for him because you're able to use the Deadly Flourish a little bit more freely. You're able to use some of these setup tools, utility that we need from this very utilitarian bot lane of Fear.
All right. We'll see if Minui has to get a lot of value out of those Deadly Flourishes in the fights to come. And now we're sub 2 minutes till the next break. This is the big turning point here for Game 2 in the series. If Wildcard get that for themselves, and they're at Soul Point, this game just gets borderline impossible for Fear. And if Fear managed to slow it down, then they have the time that they need to make plays on the map.
See, Nature's Grasp actually come through. Parry should tank up a lot of the damage here. Does get that Glacial Prison back. Now the Curtain Call coming out. You got Keel, who's going to be tanking a lot of this. Saligo was looking for it. Fourth shot hits, but now the showstopper on a parry. Does he get out? No, Saligo flashes for it. Moose Hater showed up with that unstoppable onslaught, but Lens is the one piercing the heart of Fear.
And now it's Wildcard being on the offensive, constantly looking for opportunities and plays in this game. And they are in control. The gold lead is minor, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the map control, Lennon. And the fact is, Fear haven't been able to do a fraction of what they did in game one, finding these kills, these gold leads, and pushing Vision onto Wildcard's side of the map, forcing them away from these neutral objectives. This time, it's Wildcard who are fully in control here, and Fear aren't in a position to contest this next dragon. And Fear isn't going to have that, Parry isn't going to have his ult up. It is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, the team fights get harder and harder, it feels like, and especially when Saligo's feeling himself so hard. Does have that first item completed now. We're getting the dragon set up here. It was first tower taken by Faisal, as should be a TP answer back to the mid lane for Shochi. He has the Chains of Corruption. Faisal's over on the side here, but Wildcard are pulling the trigger. Trevor almost going down. There's the TP back in. And Wildcard, they're getting set up on here. Should be their dragon, though. Fear deciding to pull away.
Look at Faisal on the mini-map. We talk about he has to get on top of Lens if he can blow him up. That's a kill.
The saplings do so much. Chains of Corruption is in. Faisal, he needs to pull the trigger. They're getting engaged on. Fear are in some trouble here. Maybe they just decide not to. Chains of Corruption comes in. Faisal, you gotta be there for your team. As Saligo pulls the trigger for his own. Faisal gets a trade back onto Duo King. The Curtain Call from behind. Giving me a little bit of Huanfeng memories here. But we got Wildcard trying to chase down Manui, who does not have anything. It is a poor old Jin. That sapling, it's the smite. All right, Wildcard take the fight. They take the dragon, and that's a big pickup in terms of the sustainability of Wildcard.
And this only gets worse for Cincinnati Fear, as Wildcard will also get the Rift Herald again. And that means more structures are going to drop, more gold into Wildcard's pocket. And this is the comfort zone for this team. This is the dragon control that we're used to seeing, and they're 4 minutes away from an Ocean Soul. Fear are really in danger.
And I hate to downgrade it to some extent, but I just love what we're getting in a different fashion from Keel and Parry here, where I would love to see them go for these aggressive picks, but it's like they're playing 4D chess and everybody else is playing regular chess, and they're trying to deal out these pieces. It's been wonderful facilitation for both of them in these fights.
And Faisal, you're looking at him in this team fight to blow up someone like Duo King, but preferably Lens. But they just circle around their AD carry so well on the side of Wildcard. And this is that team fighting prowess that we highlight and expect from this team this late into spring.
They are, again, our top two provisional teams, our top two provisional junglers, but as a whole, it's just been the team effort from both sides. Faisal sitting at 2-0 on this Camille. Second item completed up there in the side lane, but majorly looking at Saligo, who might be just turning into Super Saiyan Saligod here in this second game, coming off that performance from Shochi, where he absolutely destroyed the game on his Tryndamere.
And it's a nice answer for Saligo to be able to pull out a pick like that. Being a player who, I mean, in some of their best wins, he is someone we credit to having a lot of these performances there. I think the best example in my eyes was against Cloud9. His ability to shut down M&S in both games in that series when he was still playing for them. It was a sight to behold and a big part of why Wildcard was able to obtain these wins over what seemed like long odds.
Well, we got some odds going in this one, at least in favor of Wildcard so far. Not much of a goal lead, but it has been about that control around the map and striving for that late game that they know so well here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you step up and you're about to get the guns as the Curtain Call rings true onto Lens. The fourth shot peels away Wildcard, and then Nature's Grass stolen by Shochi.
And that's what we needed to see here. This is what we were talking about with Fear punishing the fact that Lens was a very immobile champion. So you do have that opportunity to get a kill, but what can you do with it? It's really just gold in your pockets. And it's just an opportunity to go back to farming, set up some vision, but it's not the advantage that Fear need. They need to keep looking for plays like these, especially because Lens just used his flash in that last fight and had died. So if you're able to get another pick like that, and you're at these crucial item spikes, maybe Baron is something you can set your sights on for Fear, but it's going to be a big play that gets them back into this one, not just picks like that.
Yeah, I will say Shochi has gotten to his 10 stacks on his Roa. We're looking at second item completions that should be coming very soon. Okay, not even soon. About half item there, a little bit more so for him, looking into that Zanya second item. I am looking, though, at these next moments. You have about 1 minute and 10 seconds for the next dragon. This is a soul fight for Wildcard.
And a difficult soul fight for Cincinnati Fear. They have to deny this, Lennon. There is no option.
They're going to try to opt into the early play here. They have lockdown Keel. Nature's Grass are running each way, but a beautiful flash from Keel actually might save him. The scissor kick, though, from Faisal gets him down. Curtain Call's coming through. Curtain Call onto the backline. Lens, he's dodging out. Fourth shot, he's not going to hit it, but they still get Lens. They don't get Saligo. Faisal slams the door on a Keel, and Shochi's over the wall. Shochi's under tower. Faisal picks up another one. Moose Hater has found the trio on the back line, and he is a wall that will not be surmounted.
Wow, we got a scrappy one there. It is a 3 for 2. And you take out the jungler, and this dragon is up in 15
Aries got
seconds.
Warmogs. He is healing so much.
More.
They're back to full health. And Duo King, that slow hit from Trevor, and Perry just chases him down.
Oh my God.
Now it's just a kite game from hell for Moose Hater. He tries to flash over, but guess what's up again? He literally used it to start this fight, and he slams the end of the fight with it as well.
Really huge from Cincinnati Fear, but the problem still remains. Are you going to be able to take this dragon in time? You seeing the teleport from Faisal, they have to go for this before Keel can get there, and you can see it. Wildcard accept this. They're going to back off, and this is a much-needed reprieve for Fear.
The Muramana completed there for Manui as this dragon stacking denied against Wildcard. Something to put a little bit of promise on for Fear, who have put themselves in a small, minute gold lead here, but should be looking for maybe some more picks here as they move into the jungle.
Right, and now we're seeing that Ash Arrow cooldown really start to get low. Oh my God.
Dude, they are just unrelenting. They said, well, we've been a passenger for the first 20 minutes of this game. We had some things going early for Perry. Where was that? Well, let's pull the trigger a couple times, guys.
And this is what I'm talking about. That punishment. You're an immobile champion. Everybody's off the map, especially with a comp like Fear's. You have to be careful about walking into the mid lane like that. And it's Fear who just keep capitalizing on these opportunities. And we're going to see it here. I like this call, that decisiveness again. Immediately, the teleport comes through. They're all in Keel before the dragon fight to secure and guarantee that they can deny the soul. And it's the fight on two fronts here, which is so important. Minui ulting, doing damage from a distance, and you have Shochi, Faisal, these two beefy bruisers, just putting unspeakable amounts of damage in.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just been that all-in commit, it feels like, from Fear. And when you see them all on the same page like this that we know they try to strive for, it looks so darn clean. And then you have those moments the last like 5 minutes where it's like, okay, Wildcard are starting to control things a little bit. They're getting everything they want in these team fights. Then the pouncing of a jaguar out of the bushes here, it's Fear.
It is Fear getting rewarded for that proactivity again. Means that now they bought themselves time with that dragon. So you have a lot of options here. Continue looking for plays like we've seen from them, and also to get more gold into your pocket. So when the next dragon comes up, you're in a stronger position. And so far, that plan's been working out for them. They're up 2,000 gold, despite being down around 1K for the last 10-15 minutes. And they're just going to continuously look for these plays, especially with Shochi constantly stealing the Nature's Grasp.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big payout for that ulti as well. They actually get a nice little deadly flourish onto Soligo. Does a decent amount of damage. Here comes the unstoppable onslaught, though. Going for the engage is Moose Hater. Is tanking up a decent amount, but the re-engage there from that Nature's Grass stolen from Soligo. They get a little bit of damage back into Moose Hater. Unfortunately, those curtain call shots do just nothing. Faisal is way over on the side. Should be just going for that side lane push. They have no tower here. And nice defense, nice little peel from Fear.
This one is tough though. Wildcard have peeled off, and that's why Faisal, you see him walking away. He has to be careful and not get picked off. Now, Wildcard, that's going to be tough. Trevor has the Ash Arrow. I think it's just clearing vision, and they're going to walk away, but look at Faisal.
He was waiting for it on the side there. You have Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You have the Glacial Prison to follow up, but it will be Wildcard that move out in plenty of time. We'll see if Fear can take down this outer tower in mid lane.
Would be much needed, but Wildcard, they are committing a lot to make sure it stays up for the moment, and that is something big in their favor, making it a little harder for Fear to get that mid push and set up vision into Wildcard side of the jungle. Luckily for them, their side lanes are
really big thing, really quick. This is third item spike for Faisal. He is doing so much damage now, and you have to pull the trigger on a defensive Nature's Grasp from Keel, or that was going to be a kill.
Right, and he is just a monster in the side lane now. And you see Fear can still take advantage of the fact that these side lanes are pushing through, and they have vision over the Baron, but it's not what they're looking for. My God, Perry!
I mean, he knows that Faisal can come down at any moment. They have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow if they need to pull it from Trevor, and there's just a lot of mobility from Fear coming online here.
Faisal, again, that constant threat in the 1v1 on the side, but now we have to turn our attention to the dragon. Moose Hater isn't going to be able to do anything really. 45 seconds, no kills coming through. What stopped the last dragon was Fear got a pick onto somebody, but now Wildcard are a lot more careful because of that, and this soul is crucial to Wildcard evening out the series.
We're gonna have everything online here for this fight as well, and that third item spike for Faisal gonna be important. The biggest thing for me is Faisal is literally the damage dealer that needs to deal with Moose Hater, but we're getting a mid lane fight. The Stranglethorns has been stolen. Does get the knockup onto Duo King. It's just a couple ultis used. Fear trying to find that pick again before the dragon fight, but don't do it.
I like it, again, making the play onto the jungler so that there is no smite that you have to deal with.
Faisal has TP.
Yeah, okay. Shochi's TPing back as well, which means that we have an old fight on our hands here. We got an old-fashioned throwdown, Lennon.
All right, I'm ready for the tussle as you get the pincers coming in. Faisal on the side. Soligo coming to join the 5-on-5 stack. They've got to mark him. They have the vision. Now, Moose Hater find a little bit of an engage here. The dragon is spawned. Perry's going back in. Faisal gets stopped by the sapling. He wants to find the back line. The cleanse has come out. Wildcard, they're feeling the fear here. Trevor has shown up with no help, but he's just being utility. Moose Hater's locked down, and that should be the go button for Faisal, but the go button has been popped by Soligo. He gets the big backline access. Keel gets a nice knockup, but it doesn't matter because Faisal is coming to town, and he's shredding your life from your very eyes, as Wildcard will be left with absolutely nothing, and Fear are looking on the precipice of a 2-0.
And Fear just keep making it happen, Lennon, as they deny another dragon, solidify their lead even further. And the whole time, you see it on the minimap, Faisal is so patient, waiting for his moment, waiting for his opportunity, and there's a bug there because Faisal did have flash, and you see it. He only cares about the squishies, Lens and Duo King. That's who he's looking for here, and because they're afraid of him, it prevents them from outputting as much damage. And when he finally comes through, it's over.
The peel from Keel, it was there. They saw it coming. They tried, but it didn't matter. Faisal took all that damage, and that's just eviscerated the backline.
Unreal. Triple kill earned for Fear's top laner. Another dragon earned for Fear to stall the soul. And now Fear
Dude.
find themselves in a fantastic position to close the series.
I don't know what they fed the Fear today, but they need to keep doing that. These solo lanes are absolutely monstrous, and so do they continue to be. As Shochi and Manui combine to get the back line. Shochi getting a little bit low here. You got to re-engage on Saligo, who gets all of his health bar taken out. Nice haymaker back, but he gets the shutdown. Now we see Wildcard coming back in. You got a deadly flourish at Shochi. He wants to get Lens, and they're collapsing the jaws of the Jaguar from Fear.
And that's it. They got everything they need, Lennon. They can go for the Baron. They can close this game out. It's not going to be as long as game one, but they get everything that they need. Perry is just waiting for Warmox to heal him back up. And this roster, the team we thought to be worse than Wildcard, the team we thought to be the second best provisional team, are putting the screws to Wildcard Gaming.
And a win here, they tie Wildcard in that pivotal moment, in those standings matchups, and try to get the best seeding going to playoffs. We said it's a derby, but Fear are way ahead by 100 meters at this point. It'll be a Baron slowly but surely going, trying to wait for Faisal,
yeah.
And that'll be the pickup that might be the nail in the coffin of Wildcard.
That's right. Again, Fear have gotten themselves a composition once more where the all-in, the pick potential is unreal. And that's, again, what to look out for here. This game has been incredible from Perry, constantly finding these angles. Both him and Shochi playing out of their minds in these team fights, and nobody can deal with them at this point. Your damage is Lens, and when Lens is out of the picture, yeah, you got a lot of nice health bars here, but that's all.
And Lens even tries to push through. He's just like, we have to get damage down. Like, we are not going to find a fight without this. And Shochi just comes up right behind. And at that point, you realize this is where you've messed up.
And now, this is basically a preview about how the rest of these fights are going to go. Because the damage is so high from Cincinnati Fear. And the only real damage you're looking for is Lens. The downside of that poke build is that, yeah, you got good range, but you don't have constant DPS coming through here, and that's the only way Fear are going down.
Man, and just the fact that we harped so much on Perry versus Keel, they've decided today to have the handshake meta junglers, no spice coming out of the junglers, and it has been Perry that has come out on top both times in astounding fashion.
That's right. Faiza, I mean, everybody on Cincinnati Fear playing incredibly this series. It's been a sight to behold. Even, like, we have a second, hopefully. Actually, I'm afraid to bring this up. Maybe next downtime, because with how Fear have been playing, they could very well be looking for more.
Yeah, they are definitely looking at a little bit of vision game here with the Hawk shots. They got about 1 minute and 10 seconds on their Baron buffs, and they're pushing in bot lane where Moose Hater, at this point, has nothing to say against Faisal. I feel like he's just take him out in a couple of the little sweet shots there. And we'll see the tower has been taken. There's the unstoppable onslaught flashed out of actually by Faisal. So a little bit worried about the collapse. But as they turn their attention to the bot side, the rest of their base is crumbling beneath them as Keel locked down the curtain call. One more. No, they give it to Faisal as he comes in to get another one. He wants to match Shochi's KDA from game one.
And it's just unreal. Fear have everything they need to close the game. Perry is escorting a wave top, and it's this inhibitor or their lives wildcard. They're trying to fight, but Perry's looking.
Perry finds it. Len's having to flash out. Faisal's now in there like swimwear, baby. And Wildcard, they're taken down. They're going down every single way that you could possibly, as Fear will push them to an even record against Wildcard. And the provisional matchup has delivered.
2-0 Cincinnati Fear find themselves tied at third place. Incredible play from the mid-jungle duo of Perry and Shochi, and of course Perry playing out of his mind this series, looking for angle after angle after angle.
Every single time, Perry literally visited every lane. Was like, guys, you good? Yeah. You doing good? Cool. Yeah. No problem. Let's go see what Keel's got to say. And every time he came out on top, we had kills across the board in the first half of the game. What beautiful stuff from Fear, and what a way to close out a 2-0 victory here. We're going to send it away to a little break. On the other side, we do have an interview with Mad Magical.
Hello, welcome back into the LCS Challengers League. I'm Mad Magical, joined in by the mid laner of the victorious 2-0 Cincinnati Fear, Shochi. Congratulations. You toppled the other top professional team. How does it feel to be #1 in professional?
I mean, it definitely feels amazing, you know. I feel like there's been a lot of discussion between whether Wildcard's the best or us. Every time I open a YouTube video on LS and Nemesis, they're talking about how Academy teams are losing to Wildcard and their McChicken salaries or whatever. But hopefully the narrative shifts because we just took them down. So yeah.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you guys did. It was not quite like a stomp, though. Let's be honest. Those were well-fought games between both of you. So let's kind of go back, look at Game 1. Game 1 really was your wheelhouse on that Tryndamere.
Yeah.
So what was going through your mind when you got, what was it? I think you got the triple kill pretty early on into the game. Were you just like, follow me, I'm going to carry?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, pretty much. It's a team comp we've played. I've played a lot of Tryndamere, even in the officials. I mean, once I get a lead on that champ, I pretty much know how to convert into a dub. So, the moment I got that triple kill, or like a few picks here and there, I knew we would win that one. Even though it did look a bit scary with some Zeri gaming.
The moment inside of the base where you had your first death the whole game.
Yeah, the incident. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You guys still won the game, still picked up the dub. But then let's look at Game 2. A lot closer, I'd say. Though we were talking to you a little bit before, you know, myself, but Cell Beatdown, and you were saying, yeah, it might have been close for everyone, but Faisal was the one member that it was like, nah, he could just Thanos snap everybody. Was this kind of the game plan going into Game 2?
I mean, you saw the Game 1. We had some scouting on Mr. Moosehater up in the top lane. We got the kill level 1 and gave it to Faisal. So pretty much from that point on, he was like, yeah, my champ's gonna 1v9 this draft. We gave him the counter pick and everything. So even whenever I made some mistakes on mid, that little skirmish that didn't go too well, we knew Faisal had our backs, and he played team fights really well. I think we all did for the most part. And yeah, I'm glad we secured the 2-0, really.
Well, I think that's something that I actually want to bring up with you, because a lot of people have praised Wildcard for how well they team fight. But I feel like you guys do just as good of a job, if not even better job, than they do. Do you guys think that maybe it's time everyone starts singing your praises when it comes to the late game?
I mean, I think we're really good at team fight. I think we're better than them. They have some very unique strengths, but when you ban out the unique strengths, they kind of lose a little overall power. So I definitely think we're one of the best team fighters in the league. And I mean, it showed, I guess.
All right, so let's look at you guys going towards playoffs. You know, that's just a couple weeks down the line. And I'm going to touch on another topic here in just a second, the C9 issue. But let's look at playoffs first. And how confident do you feel going into playoffs at this moment?
I feel pretty confident. Like, every week, even though there's been some turmoil here and there, some scuffles within the team, like we've taken steps, like leaps and bounds, getting better every week, and you can see it in our game. Even though, like last week we lost to Team Liquid first, but I think by playoffs we're going to be a very strong contender for like top 4, top 2. You'll see.
And now let's touch on Cloud9 Challenger issue, because you still have yet to face off against them. You faced off against Dignitas Challengers last week and got 0-2'd. So Cloud9 are the other team that are tied for first. Technically, Cloud9 have a little bit of an advantage over Dignitas. How do you feel going into either Diplex or M&S?
I mean, yeah, I guess you don't really know who's it's going to be with the things going on over there, but they're definitely, both of them are really good mid laners. I look up to them. I like M&S aggressive playstyle, you know. Diplex is really good at melee mids, which is something I like to play a lot too. So no matter which one, I feel it's going to be a good match, and hopefully I can perform well against both of them.
All right,
either one of them.
What's better? Is your Tryndamere going to be able to beat either of them, like playing the Kali for Diplex or maybe the LeBlanc for M&S?
I mean, the Kali's pretty hard, but maybe LeBlanc. I don't mind LeBlanc too much, yeah.
All right. I can see that. So you're hoping for M&S then? Do you think you can get more solo kills than M&S?
I don't know if that's feasible, but
I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, it'll be a good match no matter what.
I think so too. You've really proved a lot of people, like going into the split, that you are someone that everyone needs to start talking about, including myself. We go into the season, and you were someone who was there. Everyone kind of was like, yeah, you know, we're not sure. He's an unknown quantity. He's played in a lot more of the amateur scene, the semi-pro. But this year really has felt like your year. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I kind of just went all in on this year. I've been playing amateur for like 1.5 or 2 years, close to that now. But this year I was like, okay, this is my do or die year, you know. If I don't make academy, I'm just GG, go next. So I've really put everything in. I've moved out of my house for the first time to California so I can play with all my teammates here in here in the beer house, and just every day waking up being thankful that I can pursue my passion like this, play League, and just try to become the best player I can in the most fastest time possible. It's really just put that mindset in me, and I think I've been able to improve a lot because of that.
I completely agree. You've definitely been one of my most improved players going this entire year. And so before I let you go celebrate the 2-0 victory with your team, any shout-outs you want to give to any fans out there? Any call-outs to any haters? What do you got for me?
Okay, so first, I got a lot, if you don't mind.
Okay. Go for it.
First, I'll shout out my girlfriend, Charlotte, my friends back home, Justin, included, Mr. Frizzy Pops. I got all my teammates at Fear. Everyone at Fear, even the staff is really good. Shout out Xavier for that level 1 plan we had on Moose Hater. My mid lane coach Leo, Kiao, just everyone. I have some friends on Wildcard, Taco, and Keel. They're my goats. I'm sorry I had to take them down, and I may have some not so friendly relationships with some of the players on Wildcard, and it feels really good to take them down. So.
Well, congratulations on that one, Shochi. Go celebrate with the team. We're going to toss it a break, and when we come back, we'll have our final series of the day between Fly Fam and Golden Guardian Challengers. Don't go anywhere.